श्रीमद् स्वामिनीति नामिनी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we just started Bhagavad Gita from the beginning, and today we are covering chapter number 1, shlok number 2 and 3. So we'll see the shloka and the translation. Sanjay vacha dishtava tu pandava nikyam vyudham duryodhana tada acharyam upasanghamyam raja vachanam apravita. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the son of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. See the next shloka. Pasya etam Pandava putranam acharyamahitam chamum vyudham ropada putrena tav shishya ena dhimata. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Hare Krishna. Is the audio proper? Somebody can please
Yes,
confirm.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Bhakti. So we are seeing the setting of the war battlefield. So the Kurukshetra war is about to begin, and King Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya for a report on the Dharmashetra. So this historical reality point of view, if you see, these are not myth. The location like Hastinapur and Indraprastha. Where is Hastinapur in current location? What it is known as?
New Delhi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Delhi?
So Indraprastha is Delhi and
Okay.
Hastinapur is Meerut. So these physical sites are still exist as of date, right? And you see in this battle Kurukshetra battlefield, Kurukshetra war. So Kurukshetra is in Haryana, right? So who are these players? There are two sides. There are 100 Kauravas. In Kaurava, there are 100, and Pandava side, we have 5, right? So there is an interaction or dialogue that is happening before the war, where the 700 verses are spoken. So who are the main who spoke this one? How many were there who spoke in this Bhagavad Gita 700 verse?
4 people, Prabhuji.
Yes, 4 people.
Sanjay,
Sanjaya, then who else?
Arjun, Lord
Arjuna,
Krishna, and
Lord
Dhritarashtra.
Krishna, and Dhritarashtra. These 4 were there. So approximately, if you can say about who spoke the maximum shlokas in
Dhritar-
Bhagavad Gita?
Lord Krishna spoke the
Lord
maximum,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
So
Then
any idea
Arjun,
like how many verses?
154, I think, Prabhuji. 174, I think. No, sorry, 3.
Total 700 verses.
Yes, 375 574, Prabhu.
574 by Krishna.
574.
574. What about Arjuna? How many verses Arjuna spoke?
84.
84.
84. Sanjaya 41.
41 and
And
Dhritarashtra 1.
Dhritarashtra,
1.
he
1.
spoke only
1,
one.
Prabhuji.
Yes. Fine. So now Dhritarashtra, he spoke only one verse here. So when you analyze Dhritarashtra, what Dhritarashtra means, one who clutches or hold the nation tightly. So there is a difference, like holding the nation tightly. What is the motive involved? So anyway, the Dhritarashtra means one who clutches and hold the nation tightly. The problem is the danger of attachment. His extreme attachment was towards the power and his son. And that actually led to his ruin. So, for example, if you see holding a rope too tightly, what happens? When you are holding a rope very tightly while it is being pulled, what will happen? It can cause your own hand to bleed. When it happened, when you refuse to let it go. So, same thing Dhritarashtra also did. He refused to let go the kingdom for his sons. And that actually causes his 100 sons downfall, right? So that's about Duryodhana. Then, that's about Dhritarashtra. So when you see about Duryodhana, what is happening in the battlefield? So Duryodhana was having a lot of anxiety, though he is having a massive army, right? What is the strength of his army? How
11
many?
Akshanis.
11 Akshani, right? 11 Akshani. And versus Pandavas, how many Akshani Pandavas army was?
7.
7 Akshani. So we'll see what is this Akshani. So this Duryodhana, he was very much nervous. He was very much worried. He was very much irritated, even though he was having 11 Akshani, much more bigger army compared to Pandava side. So, but when he see the arrangement of Pandava army, he was nervous, he was worried. And what he did, he bypasses the commander-in-chief. Who was the commander-in-chief?
Dronacharya.
It was
Bhishma Pita.
Bhishma was the commander-in-chief in
Okay.
the Kauravas army, right? And he bypassed Bhishma and he spoke to his teacher, Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the teacher, right? So, and you see here, he bypasses him and he's going towards him and he's teaching. So, it is just like in modern days, what happens in the corporate firms, manager, he bypass a director and go and speak to the consultant because he is seeking a specific kind of psychological reassurance. He want to get sure, right? So he is actually bypassing and Bhishma and going to him, to Dronacharya and speaking to him. Now we were talking about Akshoni. So few may not know about what is Akshoni. So we'll see it here. What is one Akshoni? So in one Akshoni, if you see, there are 21,870 chariots. And how many elephants? 21,870. Similarly, cavalry, 65,000. And in infantry, the army, human army, if you see, more than 1 lakh. So total warriors, if you see, there are 2,18,700 in one Akshoni. Now, they have the Kaurava army consists of 11 Akshoni when we say, so you multiply by 11. So total comes to 24 lakh, somewhere 5,700 warriors. Now, even if you see each of them, like in one Akshoni or 11 Akshoni, you see these numbers. So you see the numerology of these numbers. 21,870. If you add them, so how many it becomes? 2 plus 1 plus 8 plus 7
18.
plus. It becomes
18.
18. Yes, it becomes 18. How many shlokas Bhagavad Gita has? Again 18, right?
700.
Yeah. I mean the chapters.
18 chapters.
18 chapters. So, right hand side, if you see 11 Akshoni multiplied by this one Akshoni, it becomes 2,40,570. Again, if you add this, it becomes 18. Like this one Akshoni, elephant, and 11 Akshoni, you add them, it becomes 18. Even when you add this total warriors, all numbers you see here, when you add, the total comes to 18. So 18 have a very significant number. Also the numerology. If you see now, this Pandavas army, they were 7 Akshonis. So again, chariots more than 1 lakh, but less than Kauravas chariot, which is more than near to 2.5 lakh. It is 1.5 lakh towards Pandavas. Similarly, elephant 1.5 lakh and nearly more than 4.5 lakh cavalry. Infantry, they have more than near close to 8 lakh. So total warrior in Pandava sides are 15 lakh. Again, you add individual or the total, all will sum up to 18. So that about the army we are seeing here. Now you see the blindness of this materialism. So Duryodhana, he was physically blind. Not only physical blind, he was also spiritually blind. So what was the missing factor here? When you see Duryodhana, Duryodhana's father was physically he was blind and Duryodhana was spiritually blind. So he calculated military strength, right? And then he also calculated the financial control and the political power. But what was the missing factor? So everybody is actually all the strong things was his side, right? The military, you just saw that. 11 Akshoni he was having. Then all the land, all the power he was having, political power, you say financial power he was having. Compared to Pandava was not having anything, right? Compared to this. But they failed to have, or this Duryodhana, failed to calculate the power of what? One single
Krishna.
calculation.
Krishna,
The
Prabhuji, Lord
power of
Krishna.
Lord Krishna, yes.
Krishna.
So that was the missing factor. It is just like when you see a big business, when you have a very big business, you may have the best of the technology and all the venture funding you may be having. But if it lacks the integrity and the divine purpose, so divine purpose is actually symbolized by Krishna. So if it lacks that integrity, we have seen so many examples, right? Some of the big software companies, we can name them because it doesn't exist now. Companies like Satyam, and then there are bigger companies like Lehman Brothers. They were one of the biggest in the world. So what happened was because of the lack of integrity and the purpose, they are destined to fail against the smaller ones. So even the smaller company, you know, have the lot of integrity and the proper purpose, they can become a big competitor, right? So Duryodhana was not able to understand that. So we have seen Dhritarashtra, we have seen Drona and the Duryodhana. Now when we see about the role of Acharya, the Dronacharya, all D, right? Starting from D. So Dronacharya, he was the military teacher. So now you see that he taught both side of the family, Pandava as well as Kaurava. And Dronacharya, he was actually a Brahmana. He was a priest by birth, but Kshatriya or warrior by profession, correct? Because he has to fight the war. So people who fight the war is Kshatriya basically. So based on what is your role, the title was given actually. So when you see Dronacharya, he is a perfect example of Brahmican spirit. So even though he knew that the disciple was born specifically to kill him, he did not refuse to teach him the secrets of uh, army or the war, right? Who was the disciple? Can you name
Drishtadhyumna.
the? Yes,
Drishtadhyumna.
yes. So his disciple was Drishtadumna. He was born actually, and Dronacharya he knew that actually Drishtadumna was born to kill him actually. But Dronacharya, he never refused to teach him the secrets of army or the war. So it is just like a scientist when you see a scientist publish some breakthrough discovery for the world. Even though he know that the competitor might use that same discovery to put his business down, but still scientist published. He published papers, breakthrough discoveries. So that was the quality of a teacher or you know the learned person. So Dronacharya, he taught both sides. It's not that he was not aware of what is going to happen in future, but even then he taught all of them, both the sides. Now what is this psychological warfare? So you see in the shloka 3, when you see the verse 3, Dronacharya, he used the word called dhimata. Dhimata means highly intelligent, and it is referring to Drishtadumna. Okay. So actually, what Duryodhana is trying to do, he is trying to provoke, provoke whom? Dronacharya. He is trying to provoke Dronacharya by calling the enemy intelligent. Dhimata, right? He is calling the enemy intelligent. Actually, he is sarcastically mocking Dronacharya. He's saying, look at your intelligent student. This intelligent student using his own lessons against you. So that is the kind of word he is actually using. So he wanted to provoke Dronacharya's anger so that Dronacharya will not show any leniency towards Pandava. Because you see, Dronacharya was having a lot of affection towards Pandavas. but now he's fighting war against Pandavas. So this Duryodhana is trying to provoke Dronacharya's anger. So that is the setup of this battlefield. Now you see the inevitability of death. So Srila Prabhupada explains, he mentioned that the death is God. So Prabhupada explains that for those who do not believe in God, here it appears to him, he appears at the end as death, right? So whereas you see devotees, how the devotees look, he look about death, right? So for atheist, when you see the atheist, so for atheist, God is in a inevitable force that takes everything at the end. That is what they presume. But for devotee, God is a friend, right? So he very well knows that the soul have no end. But for the atheist, he always vision that death is the end, right? After that, everything ends. So no matter how much military strength or bodily strength one gathers, when the time comes, no one can actually check the force of death. Right? So now you see the Bhagavad Gita shlokas written in Sanskrit language, right? So the script is Devanagari, right? So you see actually the Sanskrit language or the Devanagari script, it is also known as the language of demigods. Actually, it used to say that through this script, demigods or the higher planets, they interact, or actually it is kind of a vibration. So if you see this language or Sanskrit, it just not like this today's modern language where the meanings evolve, right? Sanskrit is also known as Sanskrita, right? A reform, basically the specific sequence of word. So in this verse also, it is actually balanced to provide a very specific vibrations and depth, right? So it basically brings the transcendental message without any distortion. So this is not a ordinary language. We should not consider it as an ordinary language.
The bald
Now,
and kept inside.
Marthaji,
Sorry, Prabhuji, it mistake.
so then moving to the story of this Chikandi and his destiny. So, anybody aware of Shikhandi? What was his past life and who was Shikhandi?
It was Ambalika, Prabhuji.
Amba, right? Past life he was
Amba,
Amba.
Amba, Amba.
Ah, yes, Amba. So, uh, what was here Shikhandi's goal? What was his
to
motive?
to kill Bhishma.
He wanted to. His goal was to actually fight against Bhishma Dev, right? So you see this past life, how it returns. Past life, we don't believe about karma and past life, right? So this is one of the best example, Shikhandi. So Shikhandi in the past life, he was Amba, right? So it's a big story. We'll not get too much into it, but um, so he took a vow. Shikhandi took a vow to kill Bhishma. So what was the battlefield arrangement was, uh, you see, these battlefields are not just a human conflicts, but it's a resolution of many karmic debts, what we see, right? It's karma, right? Whatever you say, past war, this Mahabharata war, or the present war, it is going. It's all actually resolution of many karmic debts. है ना? So the presence of Shikandi on the battlefield was actually a checkmate. Right? So the arrangement made by destiny that Bhishma, due to his own vow of never, so what vow Bhishma took? Bhishma took a vow that he will never fight with a woman, and defeating Bhishma was not easy. So see Lord's arrangement. He arranged Shikhandi there because Bhishma cannot fight against Shikhandi because Bhishma will never fight with a woman, right? And that way, everything was fulfilled. Even Amba's in past life. So Shikhandi's past life, Amba. Uh, so she took a vow to kill Bhishma. So that is what it actually. Then we'll go for the conclusion here for this shlok number 2 and 3. So now you see the chapter 1, it is also titled as Arjuna Vishadha Yoga. Anybody knows what is Vishadha? This chapter number 1 is also called as Arjuna's Vishadha.
Deep sorrow, Prabhuji. Deep
Vishadha is actually grief, right? Yeah.
grief, yes.
So, even grief can be a form of yoga. So that is why this chapter number 1, it is actually called as Arjuna Vishadha Yoga. So Vishadha means grief, and this chapter 1 is called as Arjuna Vishadha Yoga. Yoga is, what is the meaning of yoga? Yoga means connecting to soul, connecting to super soul. Correct? So when soul is trying to connect with God, it is through yoga. Correct? So now we have different types of yoga. Now you see this chapter 1 is also a kind of yoga called as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. And Vishada is grief. Because Arjuna is in a deep sorrow. If you see in this complete chapter 1, Arjuna is in Vishada. He is in grief. Why? Because he is fighting against his relatives, his guru. That is the reason he is in deep sorrow. So, but now you see any yoga which actually lead us to seek Krishna is actually form of yoga. So this Arjuna Vishada Yoga is actually leading him to seek Krishna. See, without this Kurukshetra battlefield or this war, Arjuna may have been like a ordinary human being, right? Because of this war, he got his guru, he got his Krishna. So now you see that even grief or Vishada is not bad if it is leading us to see Krishna. In fact, lot of we see Krishna when we are in grief, isn't it? Most of you see 95% of devotee who comes to Krishna or who comes to bhakti is because of Vishada only. So this form of yoga which lead us to see Krishna is very good because ultimately it is taking us to the actual goal, our ultimate goal. And what is the another ultimate goal of Bhagavad Gita? Or if you see the summary of Bhagavad Gita is Manmana Mad Bhakto, right? Always think of me. Krishna is saying, always think of me. So when you see practically in modern age or this Kali Yuga is the modern age. The simplest way to apply this is how we can apply. We cannot go to the Kurukshetra and fight with somebody, right? To get Krishna. But the simplest way to apply this in modern age or in Kali Yuga is how? Prabhuji's Mataji's, how we can achieve this in Kali Yuga in this modern age? By chanting, right? By chanting the holy name, right? So by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So by chanting this holy name, we actually clear all the spiritual blindness. And this blindness actually caused by what? It is caused by greed and attachment. We have just seen that how Dhritarashtra and Dronacharya, they are physically blind, they are spiritually blind, all because of the greed and attachment. So in modern age also in this Kali Yuga, we have similar kind of blindness. And that can be easily solved or simply solved by chanting the holy name. And of course, Prabhupada has given the four principles, right? Four principles. We'll see that in next class. So this chanting the holy name and applying this four principle, we can clear the spiritual blindness, which is caused by greed and attachment. So there we just conclude with this one. If Bhagavad Gita is the surgery of soul. Actually, if you see, Bhagavad Gita is nothing but surgery of the soul, right? So if Bhagavad Gita is the surgery of soul, this chapter 1 is the patient admitting they are sick and lying down on the operating table. So until and unless you accept that you are sick, you will not go to the hospital, right? If you see Arjuna, when he actually accepted Krishna, then only he accepted that he is a patient, right? He accepted that he is sick, and then only Lord operated him. So this the act of this lying down and admitting the pain is the first essential step of the yoga for recovery. Just we discussed Vishada Yoga, right? So with that, we'll just end the class here. Anybody want to share any points or have any questions? We can just discuss in 1 or 2 minutes. Hare Krishna Prabhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question to ask. Prabhu, like in the lecture, you mentioned that this is all a karmic reaction, like, right? Am I right, Prabhu?
Yes,
With
yes,
Nandi
karmic.
and all that. So,
Correct.
like even the Mahabharata, whatever the Pandavas undergo, is that also a karmic reaction, Prabhu? Like what Draupadi underwent, going to the forest, meeting Krishna.
Yes, yes.
Was it a karmic reaction or was it like the demigod that come down, so they were playing a part?
So, yes. So actually, there are many answers to it, right? So, for the humanity, they wanted to teach us a lesson. That is why this whole, you can call it as a play also, which was all arranged, right? So, you see the example here. Uh, we talked about Shikhandi, we talked about Bhishma Dev, ki how the karma actually acts and it returns. So, Lord is actually Lord and his you call it as a demigod, his assistant. Demigods are his Lord's assistants, given different responsibilities. So they are actually, so all is true here. It is also a play, and it is also one way of, so this is a real play actually. It is not a artificial play. It is happening as well as it is a play. So yes, the karma actually comes. They are also showing this through play, but it is a real play, which is actually happening. The Bharata, the war happened, it was real. Whatever past karma, Bhishma or anybody suffered, these are all real karmas which happened, because ultimately you see these even demigods or human beings, they are soul and they never die, right? So they are just changing the bodies, they are changing the positions. So based on their karma, so you see demigods, Indra or Bhishma, these are the positions actually, you know. So based on the karma, they take this position. So yes, so when you say whether it is a play or it is actual, it is really, it is karma that happened. So answer is both. It is, one way of Lord teaching us, and it actually happened really. So does that answer, Mataji, your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. That was Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam to everybody assembled. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll end the class here and we'll join tomorrow again.
Hare Krishna. Thanks,
Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Morning,
Thanks.
sir.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Dhanavad pranam to everybody.